compete or even exist. What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today I feel compelled to make a Halo video because I sense a growing sentiment around this franchise and around Infinite, an idea likely accepted as gospel amongst our corporate overlords at Microsoft.
Gaming.
Some fellow content creators might agree, and even certain gamers. With the release and relative collapse of Halo Infinite,
Oh my goodness!
I've heard
Wait, what was that number?
Halo Infinite
Oh my...
Steam charts and ongoing analysis. Stream current all-time peak 256. That must have been like the first week it came out. 24-hour peak 5,000. Playing 6 minutes ago. 3K, bro. 3K people on a game should be like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1. That should be your player base right there. A game that came out, what was it, last year? September? October? Should not be. It shouldn't have dropped that bad. And I'm not gonna lie, when it first came out, I really fucked with Halo Infinite. I thought it was the return of Halo. I was like, yo, this game's pretty solid. Thought the Battle Pass was some bullshit because I don't even think I got to level 2. And I played like 20 games. And I was doing pretty high. But like, if you look, that shit was one hard as fuck. Everybody complained about the progression in that game. And then everybody complained about no new content, no new maps, no new battle pass, no new guns, no new, like, it was nothing. No new skin, nothing. You got nothing.
My goodness!
I've heard people question, can Halo compete or even exist in the gaming market today? You might compare the Twitch numbers and Steam charts for
Yeah, okay, let's...
the Twitch number.
Alright. First off, I wish this would drop to like 5K. You can't see my cursor, but I wish this pile of doo-doo right here in the middle, I wish this was at where Halo was, because I want that game to die so bad. But on to another story. Apex having 188,000 people on at once is crazy.
Numbers and Steam charts for Infinite with games like Apex War.
Alright, it's Valorant. And Valorant's starting to make another resurgence. I don't know. I don't even know what happened with that. But a lot of people back on Valorant. Peak viewers 1 million. Oh my god. And that was what, 2020? And there's 121,000 people at the time of him recording that video doing that. 4,000 live. 144 people are streaming Halo Infinite. A game that came out literally a year ago. Not even a year ago.
Warzone, Destiny, and think, yeah, maybe Halo just can't compete anymore in this ultra-competitive landscape of first-person shooters, a market dominated by twitchy, high-octane battle royales. Is there any home for a classic FPS experience?
And I also feel like they dropped the ball by not putting out a battle royale for Halo, because if Halo had a battle royale and it was solid, it would keep people playing.
Maybe Halo needed more than one BR. I'm here to tell you folks, in order to compete or even dominate the FPS market, all Halo needs to do is be itself. Yeah.
And really quickly, if you watched Act-Man prior to Halo Infinite coming out, and then his reaction to how Halo has progressed since it's been out, has been one of the biggest, like, I would like to say, backpedals I've ever seen in like YouTube. And it's not a bad backpedal, because, like, how can I say this? He just took a really bold stance back when it first came out about Halo not needing a battle royale, and then all the YouTubers saying, like, all the big YouTubers like Dr. Respect, Tim Tatman, were like saying Halo's gonna die because it doesn't have BR. But yeah, I agreed with Ackman that Halo didn't need a BR, but Halo needed to keep consistent in being something that Halo was good at, and Halo didn't do that, and that's why Halo died.
Yes, that is the cheesiest thing I've ever said, but it's true. With the state of Infinite being something else, I've seen a lot of fans grow pessimistic, downtrodden, that's a good word, and skeptical of the franchise's future. It sucks that I have to say I'm part of that group. And those who are curious about getting back into Halo after a long break, well, they haven't really gotten a good reason to do so. But Halo will never die. It might just be missing in action for now. Yes, I hear you skeptics. Trends do come and go. One genre might be super popular this decade and completely forgotten the
I agree. I don't think Halo is. I don't think as a franchise, Halo is dead. I don't think I feel like 2-3 years from now, you show Halo with a battle royale, like a brand new Halo. Not say you scrapped Infinite. You got a Halo with a brand new battle royale, old school maps, old school feel, or but let's like another Master Chief collection kind of a thing, right? Where you take like Halo Reach, Halo 3, Halo 2, remaster them again for the new generation of consoles, but then you add Infinite and then you like expand it. You make it a whole like universe into another game. I feel like if you took that, like you take the Master Chief Collection, put Reach in it, put Infinite put Infinite in it, and packaged it with a battle royale, can't go wrong. And just keeping up with the updates, patches, new content, all that. It's really not that hard.
next. Did somebody say Warcraft 4? Can I fucking have it already? It's just the nature of things. Unfortunately, as a society, we have failed because Fortnite is popular. However, one thing will always be true when it comes to creating and selling media. If you're able to find success, there's usually a way to sustain it. Question is, can Halo and its shepherds find the way? But before we jump into it, new orders just came in from the front. Apparently, this video is sponsored by Warpath, a free-to-play real-time strategy game for mobile devices. But now, Warpath is completely different from other strategy games. Having added new sniper gameplay, you can not only strategize on the battlefield as a commander, but also participate in secret missions and assassinate important targets. Make sure you choose the right weapon for a thrilling
All I want to say about I don't usually speak during people's sponsorships and stuff and stop during it, but so homegirl saw was looking dead at the sniper, but this dude wasn't. Okay.
Sniper experience. In Warpath, travel back in time to command your forces in historical battles. Every single vehicle and armament in the game can be customized for on-ground or aerial combat. So pick your poison, soldier. Of course, a true leader knows how to manage his resources, feed his troops, and what units to send into battle. You must learn to adapt to any battle situation, Commander. But sometimes it's through diplomacy that the real war is won. Forge alliances with other players and factions, or even send in your own unit of covert spies to gather intel. Sneak level increased. Officers give you a different tactical advantage, so choosing the best one for each situation is paramount to success. Warpath will be announcing a tournament to bring players of all skill levels together. You can invite a friend and pool your resources together for a chance at $15,000. That's a mighty chunk of change, but that's what Warpath is about. A deep love and respect for history and strategy. So go download Warpath today, enter the tournament for a chance to win. Check the link in the description, and thank you Warpath for sponsoring this video.
And now for something completely different.
So, my goal for this video is to offer a solution, an alternate reality where Halo can thrive. I'm going to show you exactly how and why Halo was popular. So here's my proposition to you, 343 and Microsoft. Alright folks, we're making a new Halo game, and with that we must remember the most important thing about this franchise. What is the most important thing, Mr. Act? Money? Money me now? No, stupid. Players. We want players. We need the most people playing, enjoying our product, and feeling satisfied. You know.
Yeah, if nobody's playing your game, it doesn't matter how much money you funnel into it. You're just gonna be like investing into a loss.
Why?
Or an extreme loss in that case.
Hey, dingus? Because people don't spend money on games they don't play. We agreed on the free-to-play thing, right, Mr. Spencer? Yeah? Okay, so our income is now only partially based on sales. Our business model is mostly dependent on active players, so we need them. What I propose is simply this. We at 343 make the best Halo game possible. That's it. Let's consider all the highly requested features, let's consider fan feedback, and think about the most important aspects of this franchise. For example, like, of course we'll have a Slayer playlist at launch, right? Being the most
Yeah, I don't understand why Big Team Slayer wasn't in the game. That don't make no sense.
popular method of engaging with this franchise since its inception. Naturally, we're gonna have that, you filthy youngboy. Can you imagine fan reaction if we didn't let them play Slayer? But I believe the best course of action for our new Halo is to make the best game possible, then figure out how to monetize it. This is what I believe. The problems Halo currently faces are almost entirely a result of the business model, because it doesn't make for a good Halo. But why should you take my advice?
I was never really a big Halo player. Like, the first Halo I ever owned, in the Halo community don't shit on me. The first Halo game I ever played was Halo 4. And that was because I didn't get into Xbox until it was a year after Reach was out. And I didn't really care. Like, none of my friends were playing it. Some of them had it, but nobody was playing it. Nobody I knew was playing it at that time. Black Ops 1 was out. And then I moved on to, like, Modern Warfare 3 and, so on and so forth. But Halo 4 was just, like, this big, hyped up thing. So I was like, hey, might as well, because it's one of the biggest franchises on the platform that I play on. Same thing why I got Gears of War 3. You had to play the exclusives back then. Like, what was the point of buying the console if you didn't play the exclusives? So, like, me saying necessarily what the greatest thing for Halo probably shouldn't come from my mouth, but what could go wrong with, like I said, another remaster? You fixing the game that you had and adding to like, just like how Battlefield 2042 is, just like put down there every game in one game, or all the maps in one game. Give everybody the capabilities. Put like a little a Portal equivalent, and then a battle royale. You keep up with the cosmetics and the battle pass, fam. That you just got you a pretty decent live service.
Advice 343 and Microsoft. I've never developed a game or led a team to collaborate on some massive project. Sure. But I know why people like Halo, and I know how you can collect their credit card information without pissing them off. This pisses them off.
Is it good for Halo that now we have to spend $10 for fucking blue?
While trying to understand my own success on YouTube and the success of franchises I've been a fan of for decades, this is what I ask myself. What is it that keeps me invested? Why am I still excited at the thought of a new Banjo-Kazooie platformer even though it's been 22 dreadful years since the last one? Why do I drool when I think of a new Ace Attorney game that plays almost exactly like the last 6? Because people like what they like. Now, that sounds stupid because it is. It's stupidly simple. If people like what you make, they will want more, and they'll never stop wanting more. Call of Duty.
Like, literally, if you keep giving people... Call of Duty... Like, hey, you about to give it. Call of Duty's been giving us damn near the same... not even Call of Duty. Madden. Madden has been giving y'all the same recycled bullshit for the last... I would like to say since Madden 13. I don't know how much Madden has really, like, changed significantly. Not, like... Now, Madden 13 to Madden 14 was a little bit of a difference because it was a generational change. And maybe the same goes from Madden 14 to Madden 2021 or Madden 2020. Let's say Madden 2021. There was probably a gap, But are we going to be for real and say people aren't buying the same shit just with roster updates? And maybe a different little way the scoreboard looks. The kicking animation's a little bit different. Fam, it's been the same shit. And people keep buying. Why can't these companies understand? Like, certain franchises, why don't you look at that and be like, yo, how do they keep getting these motherfuckers to keep buying this game every year? That's lit. Like, Call of Duty's been doing it consistently since 2007. Yes, they've had some big-ass duds. But people still play Call of Duty. People are on Warzone right now, sweating, have been on Call of Duty for like damn near 10, 15 years, and still love Warzone. They might actually hate that shit, but they want to play Call of Duty because it gives them what they ask for.
Is the ultimate proof of this concept. We've complained for over a decade straight that the game's
And I don't know whose idea was to bring back this is a Modern Warfare 3 map. I forgot the name of it. But they put doors on this motherfucker. How dare you? Should have left it the way it was. There should be no doors in the middle of the map. You should be able to just throw a sticky grenade right in there like it was nothing, like you could back in the day. Or bounce a Betty on the floor or something.
are too similar, yet we can't stop buying them. Why? Because Call of Duty still provides that same core thing that made COD 4 such a breakout hit. Also, it's Modern Warfare 2. I mean, how am I supposed to resist? If your franchise is starting
Even though it's terrible marketing, I'm buying Modern Warfare 2 as well. I'm not gonna lie.
to feel stale and decline, it's
Might not play it for that long, because the hype around Call of Duty for me in life has died a long time ago. So I am way willing to drop a Call of Duty way faster than I was back in the 2000, from the Modern Warfare 2 to about Black Ops 2 era. But like, the way I dropped Infinite Warfare and Black Ops 3, I will drop this game if it's that bad. And I didn't even buy Vanguard this year. So like, there's that too.
It's not a bad idea to throw a monkey wrench into the engine. Maybe a different approach can breathe new life into a dying series. I don't have game dev sense, but me and Microsoft are in the same business. We sell entertainment, content, if you will. And it's all about throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks and taking it as far as it can go. If you can keep your audience in a constant state of being satisfied with what you made and always hungry for more, then you'll be happy and you'll likely make way more money.
He didn't say it, but he brings footage of Mario. Mario has been a franchise for longer than I've been alive. Before I was a sperm cell in my dad's nutsack. That game has been a staple in gaming. Okay? Granted, Mario has definitely expanded way past that 2D scroller it used to be. But they still come out with a Super Mario Bros. Every once in a while that gives people that not that original feel, but kind of caters to that original 2D platform that it was. Now they made it a little 3-dimensional by like making it the path vertical instead of a side to side, a horizontal, left to right 2D. They kind of make it they had their vertical moments, but to the core, it's still the same game. Maybe some new bosses, maybe some new power-ups, but it's the same shit.
Money than you initially imagined. I'd summarize this idea in one word. Penis.
What?
Well, sorry, I think a 5th grader slapped my keyboard, and I always read my scripts as they're written. I'd summarize this idea in 3 words. Keep your identity.
I lost something once. I lost something I couldn't live without. My identity.
Remember that video I did on Halo's identity crisis as a military sci-fi shooter? It's still relevant, I suppose. I like cake, and if I order a cake, I expect to receive a cake. If I open the package and see donuts, I get pissed. Almost every successful IP has to retain some element of what initially made it popular to begin with, because that's why people showed up in the first place. Imagine if I stopped bitching about Halo. God, everyone would leave. No, wait. Remember how bad Halo 5 was? No! Though the Halo fanbase is notoriously difficult to please, those high expectations exist as a result of the other titles setting the bar so high. If Bungie hadn't made Halo's identity so unique and so compelling, it wouldn't have such a dedicated, rabid, and broad audience. So why isn't Halo as popular as it used to be? Is it just because of the genre? Is the more traditional arena shooter losing relevance like real-time strategy games? I don't know. So if I'm at a point where I want my channel to grow or continue to sell my video games, I basically have 3 options. Door number 1. I could create and sell similar games based on what has proven to sell, taking very little risks and not deviating much. Think of the first 3 Ace Attorney games. I cater to the core audience that already wants more, and I settle for that. Door number 2. I could take pretty bold risks with the game to inject some diversity into a successful formula. Think of Bloodborne, Halo Wars, or Star Fox Adventures.
Put that down! You don't have enough scabs!
This
I didn't like Star Fox Adventures. I did not at all. I think that, my God.
can backfire, though, if the renovations to a series aren't welcome. And here's proof of that. Behind door number 3, I could completely change all of the fundamentals in my current IP, appeal to a larger audience, and pray to Sergeant Johnson that my current fans stick with me. The third option is really fucking hard to pull off, but it has been done, just not by Halo. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime would have likely never progressed past Season 0 if they didn't change it to really focus on the Duel Monsters card game. Instead of, Yugi running around essentially playing Russian roulette with criminals and then using ancient Egyptian superpowers to give the loser a mental disorder for life. Season 0 was lit. The problem with Halo...
Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 was really toxic. Like, if you watch Season 0 and then watch the actual, show when it aired as a child show, other than, the finger pistols in the 4Kids remake, or the 4Kids dub, they had some pretty toxic things going on. Like, that show is really, really dark.
Is it tried reinventing the wheel when it had no reason to. There's a common misconception that Halo's decline in relevance started with Reach, but the truth is that Halo never died of natural causes. Its core identity never got stale. The series took a U-turn at the height of its popularity and course-corrected into an unknown future. When Reach came out, it was able to coexist with Halo 3 just fine. It's when Halo 4 came out that all 3 games saw a steep drop-off in...
I remember, I don't know, like I said, at the time, that was my very first Halo, was Halo 4. So I can't speak to what really pissed people off, but I know for a fact, people hated, and I mean hated that you could run in Halo 4. I didn't know that wasn't a mechanic in the first 3 games. Like, at all. I didn't, so I'm like, you don't want to run. You don't want to sprint in the game? Like, what? And they were just like, it changes the whole... I didn't understand it back then. But now, as a person that has seen games go and lose their complete identity in what they even try to accomplish, I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. If they wanted to... If they they wanted to completely change what Kingdom Hearts is... Let's say they changed Kingdom Hearts into a turn-based game. If Kingdom Hearts became what Final Fantasy used to be... people would probably go crazy. They're going to be the people that would be cool with it because they like turn-based gameplay. But it would turn off majority of the Kingdom Hearts fans. We barely wanted to give that card system and Rechain the Memories a fucking chance. But we did. We did because the story still mattered and we had to play it to understand the story. And that's probably... that would be the only reason Kingdom Hearts wouldn't fall off if they changed the core base of the game even further than... that card system, because the card system was a different system, like how he's saying, you changed you kind of changed what Kingdom Hearts was about, but the cards were just a medium of how to attack. It wasn't changing how an attack was being perceived to the enemy, where the enemy has to wait for me to attack for them to have their turn. No, that's not how it worked.
In players. What really confuses me is that Bungie found what stuck with Halo, and upon receiving this golden goose, this blessing, 343 immediately decided to gamble the franchise's future and pursue a different direction. They have taken this gamble 3 times.
Literally.
I think the results speak for themselves. Who knows, maybe the folks in charge simply don't believe in Halo, or they doubt their ability to recreate the same levels of success as Halo 3. When looking at Halo's past successes, it's important to contextualize them. Why was Halo so popular? What innovations were so powerful back in the day?
I didn't even know Ludacris was out there for the Halo 3 release. But that... I do feel like when you change developers, you lose something. You lose something in the core of what that company was trying to accomplish. Because the company that's taken over is trying to make a name for themselves. and to try to not recreate, but to basically recreate the moment of when Halo 3 came out and trying to chase that, you're never going to win. That's like trying to think about something that was just so impactful and magical that like that person will never be able to attain that again. Put it this way. Kanye West. Let's say you feel like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is his greatest album. We will never get anything of that magnitude ever again. He's at a different place of his life. He's not making that sound anymore. He doesn't want to make that sound anymore. He's moved on to a completely different stratosphere of where he is in life. That Kanye West then and the Kanye West now is two different people. Same douchebag. Same douchebag. Love that man to death. He's a douchebag though. Same douchebag. But we'll never get that shit remade. We would never get a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy again. We'll never get another Reasonable Doubt from Jay-Z. We'll never get another Stand from Eminem or a Eminem show. We'll never get that. If whatever you liked from something back then, that was at the height of that person, that game, that movie series, you'll never ever recreate it. And people need to understand, you need to stop trying to recreate those moments and just move on. Because then it'll help the person actually creating the work. It'll help them move on, and it'll help stop this fascination with everybody hyping something up so bad to the point of they're going to just disappoint themselves. Look at Kingdom Hearts 3. That game was hyped up to the maximum for fans. We wanted 100 plus hours. We wanted all the worlds. We expected all this, and what we got was not that. It took a DLC that we have to pay for to even get like relatively somewhat of what we asked for. We still don't even have an arena tournament mode with the Coliseum. We don't even have that. Somebody had to create a mod for that. And that's a PC exclusive. So it causes concern for Kingdom Hearts 4 when it comes to, are we going to get the content that we are used to, or that not used to, because it's not the standard anymore. Are we going to get the content we used to get, or what we are now accustomed to, which is you get a pretty vanilla base game, and then there'll be a DLC later on, and then maybe we'll have some type of free items and stuff that for the people that don't want to buy the DLC. That's probably where we're going to be headed from here on out, and it's sad.
And what parts of Halo's identity has 343 left behind? Whatever the case, what is the core of Halo? At its most basic, fundamental level, what is the secret formula, Mr. Krabs? There is a correct answer and many wrong ones, so go ahead, take some time to think about it. Look at this cute picture of Coco in the meantime. Have you figured out your answer yet? Wrong! Halo's original vision, and the thing it should always strive to be, is a multiplayer, first-person shooter party game. That is the original vision coming from the mouth of the man who created it, Hardy LaBelle.
I wanted to make a party game with shooter mechanics because I knew that if we put that out there and people could sit down on the couch and play together, or they could connect their Xboxes together across like a subnet on a LAN, that it would just create this incredibly powerful viral effect of people kind of enjoying the game. And so for me, I really wanted it to be as simple as possible. I wanted it to be as accessible as possible. And I wanted it to be as fun and balanced as possible.
It was meant to capture that same type of fun you'd have in Mario Kart, Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
This was a rich, original idea, given that most arena shooters of the time were sweatier than my balls in summertime. Halo CE stood out amongst the crowd because it was way easier to enjoy it and play with buddies. Remember, FPS games on consoles outside of GoldenEye was a fever dream in the late 90s. Halo's true power in the game industry comes from every single feature being designed to encourage and facilitate social interaction.
What it comes down to is getting together with people and being able to yell at them, being able to like reflect on the gameplay afterwards.
Jump up and scream and throw your controller down, and you hate it but you love it and you gotta play again.
That is Halo.
Don't y'all miss the LAN era? You all could just have your Xboxes next to each other. Damn near no Wi-Fi basically, and just connect to each other and just be able to play. That was a beautiful time.
Ticket to success moving forward and building those social features around a good video game. If I asked you what your favorite memories are with Halo, I'm almost certain your first thought goes to a moment in time when you were playing it with a friend. Unless you ain't got no friends, you friendless bastard. But what are these social features? Well, basically anything and everything that encourages or allows players to interact with each other.
It was really amazing to get online for the first time when there were a bunch of people online and just press the button that said, I want to play, go find me some other people that want to play and choose a game type that's pretty cool and just stick me in it as fast as you can.
Halo's current status as a series that can't reclaim its former glory is a result of 343 and Microsoft not understanding this crucial fact.
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
You can't be a successful carpenter if you don't know why the building keeps collapsing. Now you might be thinking, no, Acting Male, it's the core gameplay. That's what made Halo so successful. And you're not wrong, but how often did you play Firefight solo? How often did you play custom games by yourself? If I were to tally up the amount of hours I've spent in my lifetime playing Halo, at least half of it was spent with friends, either online or in person. Halo is like cake. It's better to share it than to just stuff your face. But I need to add some legitimacy to my claims that social interactions are the most important thing. If they want proof, we'll give them proof. I played a lot of N64 games with 3 buddies before Combat Evolved, but you know what I had never done? Linked consoles together and played with 7 friends. God help those poor unfortunate souls that owned a PS2 and could only afford to share their games with one other person. 4 consoles, 4...
Yeah, that was... I was never an Xbox person. Went until like 360, like I said. I didn't get a 360 till Black Ops 1 was already released. I had PlayStation 2... I had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. And then I begged for an Xbox because all my friends that I play with were on Xbox. So in the PlayStation 2 era, especially because I didn't play online because there was not that many online games. I mean, there was Battlefront 2, there was some sports games. If you connected it to an Ethernet cable, and I was too young to even understand what the fuck an Ethernet cable was. I didn't know what that port was in the back of my PlayStation 2. Okay, I just saw that red ass. Damn, Lux. I'm sorry, my dog is just squeaking his toy in the background. Crazy. Lux. My mans. Shut up. You're going ham on the squeaky toy. Thank you. What was I saying? But, yeah, that era was really, really hard for a PlayStation 2 player to, like, play with friends. I think there was a way to... Like, there was like an adapter that let you do 4-player because there was like games like Sonic Riders, for instance, that you could split the screen into 4 spots and then you could, split screen, whatever. But, then again, drop it. Thank you. Just until I'm done with this video, please. Yeah, but back to the video so they can go play.
4 TVs, copies of the game, 16 controllers. That was a lot easier to set up than 16 fucking computers. CE's campaign is a great solo experience, but you know what makes it twice as good? The ability to play it with someone.
That shit is fucking trash, dog.
You can't imagine how many memories would be wiped from my brain if Combat Evolved was only single player. Halo 3 added the ability to play the campaign with 4 players, so quadruple the fun. Just look at the countless pictures of LAN party setups people had, and you feel that wave of nostalgia across your face. That's something. Recognize how important this social feature was. Xbox Live basically took LAN parties to the next level. Now you could play with 16 people, but you didn't have to lug all that crap around. CE revolutionized couch co-op, and then Halo 2 revolutionized online gaming as we know it. Remember this, Halo 2 became the biggest selling point for Xbox Live. A subscription service that allowed you to play the game with other people. With the release of Halo 2 alone, over 1 million new users registered for Xbox Live. So not only was Halo selling millions of copies, it was selling fucking subscriptions too, like a Girl Scout. This influx of players on its own.
And like I said, I was too young to understand, like especially that era. But to like Xbox Live being a thing in that at that time, and people were paying for online was way ahead of its time. It was way ahead of its time.
Increase.
Because I don't know when Halo 2 came out, but it was on the original Xbox. If I'm not mistaken, the 360, the very first 360 dropped in 05.
Microsoft's revenue of Xbox Live by at least $50 million a year. Do you see how social features have been coded into Halo's identity since birth? And just how influential those social features were? And why they shouldn't be neglected? Halo 2 was the big explosion. Bungie was fostering this huge dedicated community. There were clans, tournaments, Bungie.net became a community hub for people to hang out and interact with the creators. But you know, maybe all these social features were what made Bungie successful. Maybe when Bungie left Halo, they took that magic with them.
And that's what I'm saying, when they changed developers, their whole identity was lost then. Because you have a company trying to make a name for themselves and trying to do something different. You could see Bungie cares about that social interaction by how Destiny is. The fucking hub world. The trying to be an MMO-esque game. Because I don't want to say it's an MMO game, but it's an MMO-esque. It's close to it. Because when you get into a mission, like, you don't see nobody. Like, a true MMO, there's people all day. It's like, it's a massive multiplayer the entire game. Destiny is not massive multiplayer the entire game, for instance.
And used it to create Destiny. Modern shooters had become so against the idea of shit-talking in video games that they've opted to limit voice chat severely, or in Infinite's case, severely discouraged it. It's actually turned off by default. I guess
And this is, and remember, I was bringing it up, that that trash talk video that he had. Now, this is what I wanted to say when I would have reacted to that. After Black Ops 2, I would like to say, that era of games, let's say 2012, 2013, every game that made you go to game chat stopped making you go to game chat. I know y'all remember, if you played, definitely, I'm going to, because like I was on 360. If you were on PS3, you had to be in game chat no matter what, because there was no party system. RP to those dudes back then, because damn, it was hard as fuck to talk to somebody. Unless you had the video cam and you did the video chat so you could talk to people. But you had to be in game chat. You had to interact with your team. Unless you didn't want to plug your mic in, of course, or you wanted to mute people. But you had to interact with the player base. Now, you don't have to go to game chat for nothing unless you want to go in there, talk shit, or you want to recreate, I like to call recreating the magic of Call of Duty. But like, Search and Destroy, you had to be in game chat for it. Team Deathmatch, you had to be in game chat for it. Anything that wasn't ground war was straight party chat. Black Ops 1 reduced it a little bit. It was only like Search and Destroy. After that, it was only the Search and Destroy playlist going forward. But I believe in Black Ops 2, I think it still had you had to go to game chat for Search and Destroy. After that, once we got to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, that shit died. Completely died. Nobody wanted to be in game chat. Everybody was on a party system. Everybody just wanted to talk to their friends. If you were solo, you didn't want to talk to nobody. That's why I have a problem when I play Apex and nobody's talking. Everybody that has the capabilities of having these games most likely has a mic, but nobody wants to talk to nobody. Nobody. and it gets to the point of just frustration. Like, why, as we as gamers who are labeled as introverts and as people that don't interact with other people, they want to treat us like we don't exist and treat us like we're lower than life because we don't want to interact with people or we don't want to talk. Why are we going to continue to perpetuate that stereotype when we are some of the most social people ever? Like, Discord got created specifically so we could talk to other people on other games and other platforms so that we didn't have to play the same game. So that we could have a party system. If I have a PlayStation and you have an Xbox, I can still talk to you if we have a cross-platform game. And be in a party system and all of us could talk together. You see, like when you're playing a game where it's ranked like Apex and I can't talk to my friends, or not my friends, I can't talk to my party members because nobody wants to say shit and everybody wants to be in their own individual party. There needs to be, they need to reforce some of these things back into games. They need to force that social interaction again. Because I feel like we're just going back down a path of just pure introverts. Like, I'm an introverted person, but I'm going to try to communicate with the people so I can lead my team to success. Or I could be a soldier in success. You can't do that and not talk to people. You feel me?
343 doesn't want you to make friends while playing. Bungie's method of handling the matchmaking and lobby systems were pure genius, and the same systems existed across Halo 2, 3, and Reach. They worked. The system has been monumentally improved in MCC, with a player-first mindset. Yet remarkably, this hasn't translated to the newest and biggest Halo game. But we'll get there. You had in-game voice chat, lobby trash talk. If you liked who you played with or just wanted to talk more shit, just hit X and you party up with them, play another round. Simple as that.
Hey, Death Warden. Fuck you.
You don't have to go through recently played with and
just, bro, I understand those lobbies used to be so toxic, but that was the best era in gaming history. I don't want to hear Fortnite, we got Warzone, yeah. No. The Modern Warfare 2 toxic ass lobbies, when we was bitching about new tubing in games and calling everybody the word we're not supposed to use anymore. Like, when there was that era of just pure just shit talking, and then like you had to say something at the end of a match. The match was never quiet. If somebody was saying something at the beginning of the match, you let that nigga know, yo, you was ass. You got carried. You got fucked up. You made sure that person felt that shit in their fucking bones. Okay? You risked your account getting banned for talking so much shit. Okay? What happened to that? Where did we lose the balls in gaming? When did we lose our balls?
manually invite them to the game, just hit X. The countdown between matches allowed you to check stats and medals players earned, maybe see if one guy was camping with a fucking sniper the whole time. So Halo quickly became the perfect place to make friends and enemies. I mean, you might as well if you're gonna play video games. In fact, Reach kept a stat of which player killed you the most. You know, if you got shit on, maybe you'd play another match against that guy and just maybe you'd try to drag your nuts across his face.
I begged to noob and I liked it.
Point is, there was always something to do in between matches besides sitting at the main menu like a jackass. I mean, Infinite doesn't even let you customize your armor while you search for a match. Why? Halo also used to automatically queue you up for the next match, so you had to back out if you wanted to stop playing for whatever reason. But the party up feature was great because it would significantly reduce wait times when everyone or even a few people decided to party up, because that's less new players the servers have to find. It was a necessary and appreciated convenience that likely improved player retention. I mean, I don't...
And then back to my point earlier. I also do not like the fact that they have made it so that if you aren't friends with people and you're a solo player, you have no way of succeeding. Call of Duty removing the mercenary playlist and making it so that you, as a solo player, have to have friends to succeed sometimes. That also makes it worse. Because it's not just about everybody doesn't have friends. And I understand that. Not everybody's friends play video games. So, like, you might have to make friends online. Some people don't want to. Some people want to play by themselves. Some people thrive in playing by themselves because they play better that way. But to limit people's success because you keep like, if I'm playing by myself, there's no reason I'm playing a 6-stack on Call of Duty. Like, I'm a solo player, and my team consists of a duo team, and then maybe a 3-stack, maybe, versus a whole 6-stack full of mics in a party talking crazy. Prime communication. Oh, yo, giving out coordinates. East 3-6, like all that shit. You can't beat that. Like you can't limit how people talk to each other and then make it so that it benefits the people that have friends. That doesn't make sense. Like, you're just limiting how many people are gonna succeed and feel like they're having fun on your games.
I don't have a fucking psychology degree, but even I understand this. Now you have to manually select search to get into another match. Why? Maybe that split-second decision is all it takes for me to say, nah, I think I'll get off. The issue I have is so many aspects of Halo are successful and like well-established, and yet they're completely ignored. Something as simple as just a party-up feature. You can't establish some kind of adversarial relationship with the enemy team if you're only allowed to play with them once. When Infinite first came out...
Yeah, Call of Duty did that too. I think it was the first time I noticed it. I think that was Cold War. It would sit there, you would play a team, you could talk shit. If you were in game chat, you could talk shit. Yo, we fucked you up, blah, 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 blah. Like, match later, it'd be like, oh, we're gonna split this lobby up, and then we're gonna take your friends that you're playing with, or if you're playing solo, we're gonna split you up, and then move you onto a whole nother lobby, and it could either be way sweatier or way shittier. Why would you do that? I remember back in Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, but yo, you used to play the same people until they left, bro. Bro, it would give you some of the best natural highs to see that you fucked the team up 3-4 times in a row, and then they leave because they can't say shit to y'all. Remember back in the day when people used to write their records in their clan tags for the day? Be like 1-0, 2-0, X, whatever. And then, like, it just used to be great when you used to play the same team and you could just put that in there from 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. Yo, y'all just keep staying in here. We can get this going. We can keep fucking you up. But nowadays, you can't do shit like that because I can't even play the same team more than twice. You want to split up the lobby immediately. And like I said, you do really well in that first game, then you throw me in the sweatiest lobby possible. I'm not, like, bro, how do I go from I'm fucking kids up to now I'm sitting over here with the sweatiest on Twitch? Like, that don't make no sense. Like, just online matchmaking, you're just going to absolute shit ever since.
Now, I made some friends during a match, only to realize all too late that there was no post-game lobby. Nope, your conversation is over now, bitch. That's what 343 said to me. Yeah, what up?
Oh,
what up?
the Act Man?
Yeah, it's your boy.
Holy shit!
Wherever you were, man, I miss you. So, the fact of the matter is 343 has actively sought ways to cut social interactions out of a series that became popular because of its social features. If that sounds stupid, it's because it is. Forge, custom games, file share, server browser, theater. These were natural evolutions that just allowed the game to go viral. You also hear tales of skill-based matchmaking, and people like Mint Blitz, people who live in Australia, have god-awful experiences trying to find matches because there's no region.
I've had to go back to Halo Master Chief Collection because I literally can't find any games on Halo Infinite outside of BTB anymore. Even during peak times, if I miraculously find one, it's 250 ping with a 10-minute plus wait time. Please do something 343. Yeah, like, that's another thing. A lot of these games want to sit there and be like, oh, we got these big-ass servers, but do your servers encompass everybody? Like, how far do people have to connect to your server to even be able to play? And if your server that's in my area is shit, or not even just shit, there's not that many players, you make me go to a whole nother region just to play your game. And then my ping is on 1,000, and I have a terrible experience just to play your game that I may enjoy. No. Why am I going to play that shit? I personally will never understand like how games got to this point. Like we got I want to say dedicated servers. We had, I think that's really, I don't even know what the true definition of a dedicated server really is. I just remember we were bitching about it back in the Call of Duty era because we were tired of host matchmaking. When the host would leave, you would have the host migration, and then the host migration would, you could either start with the shitty ass host or it would transfer to a shitty ass host, and then the game would go fucking haywire. But with these dedicated servers, why is it so hard for people to have decent ping? Like, I shouldn't have to spend all my money on the best internet possible just to compete as a casual. We're not talking about people that take this shit serious. We're talking about as a casual.
Region select, so they might have to make Smurf accounts or use a VPN to get into matches. It's all these extra hoops people now have to go through just to try and enjoy Halo the same way they did in 2007. Like recently, 8 months after release, Infinite launched a beta version of a feature that allows you to play the single player with another person. That in and of itself.
But listen to what he said, beta version. Something that has been in the series since, I wouldn't even say I think he said the inception. Or at least Halo 2. Why is that something that wasn't there when the campaign released? I understand the campaign didn't come out when the game first came out. They released the multiplayer first. But, bro, what? That shit just made no sense, bro. I never understood that. I will never understand shit like that. That to me is almost as egregious as when Gears of War Judgment came out and it only had 4 fucking maps.
Is sad, but why do
As you can see, I'm still mad about that game, but
you need to flight things like this? It's just another hurdle you have to jump over. You have to sign up to play co-op. They make it so difficult for no discernible reason. Map voting or vetoing also gave players a say in what you'd play next. You had some agency.
I love democracy.
Because Halo is a series that has a lot of ways to play, and you may not really like team lasers. Just cut the bullshit, let me experience the game how I want. With Halo 3, the series took a turn towards accomplishments and showcasing them. Look at how sick my recon is. Oh snap, you've got the flaming blue helmet? Wow, that means you must have done something pretty cool to get that. Maybe I should try that. You see, the thing about giving armor in-game accomplishments is it's a beacon to other players like, hey, maybe you should try the Vidmaster challenges too. It's like the Vidmaster challenges created another incentive to replay the game and invite friends. That's how you create player retention, through small.
If you play Gears of War, let's say 2 and then 3, there was 2 big ass achievements that were in both games. Gears 2 was seriously 2.0, and then Gears 3 was seriously 3.0. Seriously 3.0 was one of the hardest achievements ever. If you have seriously 3.0 legitimately, that is one of the biggest accomplishments in games that you could possibly have. One, you damn near, everybody's gonna believe you boosted it, because to get that legit, you had to play the game way, way, way too much. But like, that was something to strive for. You strove to play ranked so you could shit on people. You strove to get these Onyx medals so you could flex on somebody and say, yo, I got the Onyx headshot medals. I got the Onyx medic medal. I got the Onyx kill medal. I got the Onyx revive. Like, you wanted to flex. You wanted to flex your skins. You wanted to flex your gold. You wanted to flex your platinum. Or your chrome, I'm sorry. Like, from the OG days, that you wanted to have those things so that people knew who you was.
Stuff like that. Service records, a 1 through 50 ranking system that's easy to understand. The Halo Reach leveling system. A post-game carnage report. All of these things existed in Halo for the sole purpose of showing off how fucking badass you are at the game. The more people playing, the more they will care about in-game accomplishments and showing them off. You need the social features to show off in-game accomplishments or cool armor if you're going to sell people armor. Now let's take all of these social features and put them in our brainstem, okay? File share, forge, custom games, theater, service record, pre- and post-game lobbies, LAN parties, party-up system, map voting and vetoing.
Everything that basically Call of Duty copied if we're gonna be real, Call of Duty ended up having all those things, and by Black Ops 1.
Campaign co-op, Vidmaster
Except campaign co-op.
challenges, leveling, and a progression system. Almost everything I just finished talking about was deemed either unimportant for launch, is currently broken in Infinite, or flat out missing. All we have left is the core gameplay. There is no support structure around this building, and that's why it's collapsing. That is why Halo Infinite has failed to retain 98% of its player base. This is what I mean when I say the business model doesn't fit the game. And when you look at progression systems nowadays, they're pretty much a necessity in FPS titles. Everyone wants to feel that their time matters and is rewarded. Infinite's challenge system with the restrictive playlists makes the very compelling argument, you should stop playing this game. At restrictive playlists,
kill enemy Spartans trying to return the flag in PvP. Kill enemy Spartans with the Mangler in PvP. Complete Fiesta PvP matches. Yeah, like, so, if y'all remember, like in Call of Duty, there was different challenges based on the game mode you played. And most games still have these, challenges and requirements for certain sections of each game, right? But if your game doesn't have the people to play them and they're not popular, it's hard to get some of these items and some of these challenges done. Like, for instance, if I'm playing Black Ops 1 right now, right? I want to get Marathon Pro. I need to play Capture the Flag. Black Ops 1 is on 13 years now? About to be 13. I think it's about to be 13 years since Black Ops 1 came out. I think this November will make 13 years since Black Ops 1 came out. God damn, I'm getting old. 13 years ago. You sit there and, let's say, like I said, you want to get Marathon Pro. You're not going to get Marathon Pro because there's nobody on the game. And if there are people in the game, they're going to play your stereotypical playlists that are still going to be played. Team Deathmatch, Domination, Ground War, Search and Destroy. Outside of those four, on an old COD, you're probably not going to find anybody. Unless it's a more of a recent one, such as Modern Warfare, Cold War. Like, if I'm on Infinite right now and try to find a demolition lobby, I'm probably going to be sitting there for a hot-ass minute. I don't even know if Infinite Warfare has demolition. I'm going to assume, because demolition is still one of the regular game modes of Call of Duty. I don't know. I haven't played demolition in a while, but I'm assuming it's still in there. But, come on.
makes the very compelling argument, you should stop playing this game. At release, this was my single biggest complaint, like, why the fuck can't I just play Slayer? Why do I have to go for backsmacks and SWAT? This is the worst progression system I've seen in any AAA game to date, made worse by the fact that it's the only form of progression in Infinite. God damn it, I have all Last Spartan Standing challenges.
Do you want me to go?
Alright, I'm sorry, Paragon.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
You are forced to...
Like, and that's not... And see, you hear the hurt in his heart? You heard the hurt in his voice? That he has to, like, separate from his homie so he could get some shit done? Like, no.
Alter your play style. Give up the freedom to play the modes you want and be willing to not game with your friends, just to progress the battle pass. The progression system on its own deters you from playing the game with others. The business model doesn't fit. I refuse to give up these freedoms, and that's why I stopped playing Infinite. Battlefront 2 was able to fix their progression system shortly after release. Why can't Infinite? Having playlists hard-coded into the only form of progression is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard of. The challenges only have negative effects on player retention. It incentivizes solo accomplishments instead of playing the objective. Split screen is literally just the ability to show your friend how fun a game is. It's the game marketing itself to your friends, people that likely have similar interests. And again, split screen co-op just wasn't deemed important for Halo 5. It seems a major goal of 343's design philosophy is figuring out how many ways they can restrict your ability to have fun. Patching out glitches in campaign that absolutely nobody complained about, again, reinforces this idea. They arbitrarily restrict fan favorite modes, playlists, game modes, game types, etc. It doesn't make sense why the most popular Halo at launch would only offer 3 options in multiplayer, or why wouldn't you have Infection? Why wouldn't you support these communities right out the gate? Now that most of the population is gone, partially because there weren't enough playlists, it becomes harder to add new playlists because you might not have the population to support them. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Even in the August drop pod, now that they've added team doubles, they say, we're going to continue to monitor the health of the playlists. You wouldn't have to if the game launched with it. You know, everybody likes Infection. It's a no-brainer. Nobody wants to micromanage their armor and figure out which piece is allowed on which core. They make it as difficult as possible to enjoy the game. MCC allows you to search by game category and player count. It's fucking perfect. I almost never play a match of MCC that I don't want to.
Yeah, if you're making it hard for people to enjoy and have fun, why would I stay? Other than, let's say, if you're a huge game and it could possibly blow me up and I could possibly get more viewers from it, what makes me want to stay? If most people aren't having fun, they're not playing.
Because I don't have to play Halo 4. Just let me play how I want to. It's not hard. The whole point of this video is to show you and the right people at Microsoft and 343 how important social features are, and why this series hasn't met expectations in recent years. Sure, greedy monetization, lack of content, and game-breaking glitches are all big complaints from the community, but that stuff can happen to any franchise. When you lose your identity on top of that, what are you left with? What hasn't been realized is how these social features affect the bottom line. The money, the revenue. If people aren't playing your game, they're not spending money on it. It's really that simple. Give players every single reason you possibly can to get into that mindset of, all right, just one more match. And that's it. In an era where social media, live streaming, and YouTube...
Yeah, if you can't get that reaction out of somebody, like, oh damn, bro, you going to bed, bro? We got a good thing going, bro. Yo, I'm having so much fun, bro. Just one more, bro. Just one more. Please, please, bro. Please, just one more. Please. And then they go on for another 3 hours. If you can't give that feel, your game is not it, bro.
YouTube are so prevalent in society.
If you're not contemplating being tired at work or school the next day, or if you got like something important like a doctor's appointment and missing that shit, if you do not contemplate fucking up your actual personal life for that game, it ain't it.
Society, again, it boggles the mind why now social features have been deemed unimportant or non-essential in a Halo game meant to appeal to the largest demographic ever. I mean, they got Twitch drops, so that's something. Halo was a franchise built upon social interactions and features. Therefore, having those features at launch is absolutely crucial to the future of the game's success. I mean, I don't need to spend more than 30 seconds discussing Forge and file share, right? If the fans get tired of the content the devs made, then the players pick up the slack. It's astonishing to me that 343 never seemed to realize the potential of giving its audience the tools to create battle royale maps. Would have blown the balls off the fucking market. The best way to please your fans and appeal to a broader audience would be to have Forge in at launch, and then a year or so later.
See, Forge is one of those things where it was, like I said, that was also way ahead of its time, giving people that didn't even have a PC. You could do this on console. I can create my own map, and then people can enjoy it. That adds so much replayability that if your maps suck, like literally, Halo could come, like, as long as Forge exists, Halo could drop. But Halo don't even have to drop a map. If you give people the capabilities of making their own shit, I guarantee you it could be better than what the devs make. Because the player knows what they want on a map. And then there's going to be people who agree with that person and play those maps. And want to play those maps. If you don't give the people that off the gate, and you give them the maps that you gave them, and they're not really feeling them, or they get tired of them, and then you don't give them nothing new, this is what happens.
Add a battle royale mode. And now players can make their own Battle Royale maps. No other BR on the market has that option. So Halo can still satisfy its own communities while appealing to new fans. Make sure you can feed the children you have before you bring new ones into this godforsaken world. I mean, Destiny 2 seems to be succeeding great with these social features. Despite the shallow gameplay, it feels like a community. There's more to do than just
I don't like the Destiny community because I feel like it could be a very toxic community, especially like if you're like, say, new to certain things like raids and whatnot, like you're not really familiar with stuff. It's not really a welcoming community, but they are social. They have an app, you could sit there, you can make friends. I'll give it that. You can make friends on Destiny. You can meet people on Destiny way easier than you can on most other games. And be able to have somebody that could do something with. Like, you don't have to be friends with them in real life. You might just be friends with them on the game. You might not talk to that person ever. But you have a mutual understanding of, yo, I'm on at this time, so are you. We can get shit done together. We can get these challenges done. We can get these raids done. We can get these missions completed. Anything. Or these quests, whatever.
Progress the battle pass. Trying to create a Halo game where the developers have strict control over what you're allowed to play and how much you're able to enjoy the game is, well, it just doesn't work for Halo. It doesn't fit the business model. I can tell you that as a fan, having offered 6 years worth of feedback on all of these things that I think are important, I feel like most of my feedback has been completely ignored. Knowing that I share many opinions with those that were in the Forerunner Council, I imagine a lot of their feedback was ignored as well. And I just can't help but wonder how unanimous issues like armor cores and the progression system have yet to see any major changes. Competitive players had to all agree not to use the Mangler in a money tournament. They all agreed, we're not going to pick this weapon up, we're not going to use it, and all of them had to avoid it. And that was because...
And see, the community shouldn't have to do that. Like, shout out to them for having the wherewithal to be like, yo, I'm not trying to bitch about this during a tournament where I can win money. All of them came to an agreement. Maybe not every single person, but for the most part, a vast majority came to an agreement. I do not want this in my tournament because I don't want to deal with it. I want to be able to say, I lost not to a Mangler. Or I lost to something that's OP and needs to be patched or it needs to be removed from the game. I'm not trying to lose to that shit. It's like having that fucking sword in Fortnite in the tournament. Like, no.
343 for some reason wasn't willing to swap the Mangler out with something. It's like, if everyone in the competitive scene is doing the same thing, why aren't you doing something about it too? It just, until the right people at 343 and Microsoft realize and understand that Halo needs to be first.
And lastly, if your competitive players are all coming together and you still don't listen, like, it's one thing when the regular players, oh, you don't really spend money on our game, blah, blah, blah. You're just a free player. You barely even buy the battle pass. I don't care about your opinion. If you don't even care, it's one thing to not care about them people. I somewhat get that. Even though they're the reason your game stays, as big as it does, mainly because they're players that continue to get the game high player numbers. But to say, fucked the whole competitive community, how they feel, is a whole different level of just like, you don't care and you're just unaware of where gaming is. Like, you don't understand nothing. Because in Apex, we all sit there and complain about how much power the competitive players have over the devs and what they decide to do. But at least somebody has their ear, you feel me? If nobody has their ear, that's a problem. That means you can't be checked.
First and foremost, a social party game, then I'd say prepare for another decade of disappointment. So while this video was mostly negative, I mean, we'll see what happens with Forge. I don't expect any huge major updates to Halo Infinite until a decent ways into 2023.
And that shit's sad as fuck, bro. It should not come to that. Like you have to wait not like you waited a whole year, almost a whole year, to even get some a little bit of something. Now you have to wait until next year when there's gonna be new games, there's gonna be new things to play, a whole bunch of shit that's gonna eclipse Halo, just for Halo to have to compete with that with new stuff that they shouldn't even be competing with when that shit should have been in the game before. And they should be competing, trying to make something new, and that wasn't even should be a staple in the game. I don't. Bottom line, this was a good video by Ackman. He always gives pretty stellar content. Can't ever complain about what Ackman really releases. He puts a lot of effort into his videos, and he doesn't just say shit just to say shit. So I respect his opinion on this. I agree with him wholeheartedly. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Halo fan, and I'm not somebody you necessarily should listen to when it comes to Halo, like decisions and whatnot. But I will say, 343, you haven't been it since you took it over. Like I had no problem with Halo 4, but that's me as a person who didn't play Halo. Halo 5 was absolute garbage. Master Chief Collection, solid. It needed work at the beginning, but it was solid. This shit that we got going on now, it's a fucking tragedy. Bye, y'all. As you already know, subscribe to RegGamingTV.
Self-raise almost ruined my greatest.
I need to take that off because every time I come to my channel, it just starts fucking playing that. But subscribe to RegGamingTV. It's your boy, RegGamingTV, aka Jay Treesh, aka Robert Jones, and I'm out. Deuces.